Okay, this is day 2 of working on this DPF delete, and if you haven't already watched my first video, go ahead and check it out. But my first video ended on me putting this motor mount bracket back on, so I'm gonna crawl underneath the car and show you where that's at exactly. Right up in there, you can see the E-torques. There's 2 in the corner, or each corner right there. Anyway, got that thing back on, and it was easier putting it on than taking it off, but it still wasn't very easy. Just like removing it to get the bolts started, I worked from up top of the car. I done everything down in here with a ratchet and about a 6-inch extension. So with that in place, what I'm gonna do now is get this new downpipe routed up in here, up against the turbo, and I'm gonna try to snap that V-band on. So actually, before I start trying to line up this downpipe, I'm gonna wait for an extra set of hands. Until then, I'm gonna drag this exhaust out. I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting the SCR catalyst out. So I'll show you guys where you need to cut and how to remove it real quick. And you can go ahead and remove that little turbine looking thing from the exhaust, because you no longer need it, and that will free up some extra flow as well. So here's the exhaust drug out of the car. This box is your SCR, so I'm actually going to flip the whole exhaust over, because I want to cut on the bottom of it, just in case if we have any exhaust leaks, you can still patch it up from the bottom of the car instead of having to drop your entire exhaust. So I have a side grinder with a cutting disc, and you can see exactly where I have this taped off is where we're going to try to cut along these welds as much as we can. The further out you can get, the easier it will be to drop this whole catalyst as one whole piece. Okay, so you can see along the tape, I took the grinder with the cutting disc, cut all the way around, and there's a factory seam right here that I used as a guideline to cut. And now you can see all this catalyst can pretty much come out in the trunk. We gotta take this fiberglass stuff out. So that's what it looks like gutted. As you can see, the 2 pieces just come out in huge chunks, and the fiberglass, I already threw it away. But I took a shot back, clean it out. Now we're just gonna close it up and weld it. Okay, so I have everything gutted. I welded it back together. I had some issues trying to fold the flap down. I had some gaps I had to fill in, so my welds don't look the best, which I'm not a welder anyway. But I put some high temp black paint just to keep rust from forming on it, and so it won't bake off. So anyway, I'm using this little Harbor Freight titanium welder. I have the 35 wire in it, and I would say if you cut in between the weld exactly like I did, I had my settings set right here for 16 gauge, so yeah, 35 wire. So you want your power at C to C.5. I kept mine on C, and then your speed, I actually kept mine on 3 because 3.5 is too fast. So that let me weld that up pretty much smooth. So now I'm gonna let that paint dry. I'm gonna clean up some of this crap. You know, there's the SCR catalyst. So yeah, cut against the welds. Honestly, if I was gonna redo it, I would just cut all like a perfect rectangle. I wouldn't do the flap method, because like I said, I had a gap when I tried to fold it back. You can see there's a bit of a concave dent. That's the stress, I guess, when I was trying to fold it back. It put that, and it caused the outside corners to bow up, so I had to fill in that gap with extra weld. But if I was to do it again, I'd just cut all the way around it. That way, when you put it back on, the metal will line up perfectly against each other, and you don't have to fill in any gaps with the welder. So while I'm waiting on the paint to dry on the SCR, I'm just going to go ahead and put these small trim panels back on and undercarriage trays, just to free up some space and get these out of the way. So here's our little bracket for the motor mount. You kind of have to start it up top and slide it above that little support bar right there. Then you can get everything lined up. And once we get this plate back on, we can go ahead and hook this vacuum line back up to the motor mount. So it's a combination of T40s and E14s right there. I'm gonna go ahead and hook this vacuum line back up to the motor mount, and we should be good to go. And since we are no longer using the DEF system, I just pulled this heat shield down a little bit and put the connector and tucked it up in there. So now I'm gonna bend that back, hold that in place, and for the sprayer itself, I just hooked it up to this clip right here on the bottom of the transmission. So it's tucked up there against the bell housing, and it is out of the way. So I'm not sure if we're supposed to reuse this gasket or not for the V-band, but just in case, I put just a little bit of copper RTV, and I'm gonna put this on and let that sit in place just in case. Don't want any exhaust leaks. So now I slid the exhaust system back underneath the car to kind of give us an idea of how this downpipe needs to be clocked. So, you know, the bolt holes line up. The downpipe, mine came with a gasket and some bolts and nuts. So if yours didn't, make sure you source those because you can't reuse the studs off your factory DPF. So I have a battery tender on my car, and right now I'm going to use my computer, and we are going to go ahead and upload my Stage 2 tune. So if you guys are using DUDMD, I'm going to show you guys what to do. I'm going to go ahead, save this zip file to my downloads. Okay, for some reason my computer was trying to say it was a suspicious file, so we're going to go ahead, extract all. It's going to make a new folder. So once it creates this folder, we're going to open it up. So he has your PDF guides on how to use it, so I'm going to go ahead and open those up and read them. Okay, so he wants us to download these USB drivers. So we'll click the setup. Just allow it. Extract. It's going to send you through this wizard, just accept it. So the drivers are now installing. We'll give this some time to complete. So once those drivers have installed, just go to your device manager. Looks like we're going to go to our ports section. So go over to a USB serial port. He said it can be a range of anything from COM 1 to 20. So once you see that, right click it. Properties, and then we're going to go to port settings. Click advanced. Switch it to COM 1. And latency 1. So once you configured your USB settings, go ahead and download the tune. And I'm just going to save my tune to the desktop. Okay, so now on the instructions he says to go ahead and open up your remote flash program. So let's let that open up. Okay, now that is open, we're going to go ahead and put the car in accessories, turn off everything here. Turn off the radio, turn your fan off. Matter of fact, I don't even know how to turn the radio off. I'm just going to leave my radio on. I'm on a battery tender, it should be fine. Go to your flash tab. Once you do that, hit identify. So we're just going to, okay, we're having an error here. I'm going to unplug and replug my OBD2. Okay guys, turns out I have a pin issue with my OBD2 port. So this won't apply to you guys, but I'm just gonna go ahead and remove all this, pull this port out, try to re-pin that bad pin, and then upload our tune. If for some reason you guys are experiencing the same exact issue with your OBD2 port, you have 3 T20s to loosen up this panel, and then you have 2 screws, one for the hood release handle, and then there's another one right here. You have a switch for this trunk release button. It just slides out. Then this panel comes over to the side, and then we have 2 screws here. So it seems my 2 problem pins in question would be this yellow and red wire and the solid red. You can see the top corner there and the bottom corner, bottom left and then top right. Those pins don't look good. I'm trying to get them slid back in place. Okay, I don't want to risk putting everything back together in case those pins were to slide out during reassembly of the OBD2 port. I was able to push the pins in so I could actually get it to communicate with the car's computer. So I'm gonna try to flash the tune and then button everything up, but it looks like I need to repin the OBD2 connector on my car. So once it's connected, hit load bin, and then like I said, I put my tune on my desktop, so I'm just going to go ahead and click the stage 2 tune and open it. So I've opened the file, now I hit flash. It's identifying the ECU. This may take several moments. So it's going to go through all these weird error screens, but don't worry about it. I'm just going to try to be as steady as possible so I don't mess up my OBD2 port. This is very risky. I could possibly brick my computer doing this. So cross your fingers and let's hope this uploads. Oh, this is going to be a very slow process, so I'm hoping you guys will not be experiencing the same issues I am, but this is just going to be a test of patience and steadiness now. The first stage took 10 minutes and 12 seconds. Now we're going through another upload stage. Okay, flashing complete. It took about 1 minute and 23 seconds. Turn off ignition for 30 seconds to allow the ECU to reset. Okay, so the interior's back together. Now it's just time to put the exhaust back together. So right now I'm holding up the new downpipe. My buddy's up there trying to get the V-band started. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but once we get that in place and bolted up, I want to try to muscle up this whole exhaust. So we found out the best way to get it hooked up is just have the V-band put together, but one thread in, and then start it on the turbo, and then put the downpipe up, and then rock the V-band over both flanges. I don't have it tightened all the way up, but we're going to try and see if we can't put the rest of the exhaust up. Want to double check, make sure that the flanges are both inside the V-band, because they have been popping out on us. So yeah, one step at a time. I'm curious, and I know you guys are curious. What does it sound like? Open downpipe. So we're getting the exhaust lined up and bolted up. As you can see, it helps to have extra set of hands here. And then we could focus on bolting this up in the downpipe. So right now we're trying to get the exhaust bolted up to the downpipe. We're kind of struggling. The bolts they gave us, they're too big to fit through the factory exhaust. So while we're trying to source some new bolts, I'm going to go ahead and hook up the O2 sensor here and this exhaust temperature sensor. So we're finishing up the exhaust right now. This bracket you are no longer going to use, so you can throw that and the associated bolts away. So he's tightening up the downpipe to the exhaust. Put that bracket back on, and the rear knock sensor. You don't need it, but it plugs in the hole if you're using your factory exhaust. So there's our gutted SCR. downpipe is in the progress of getting buttoned up. Then we can hook up the skid plates and stuff. Okay, so I have the engine cover back on. He's finishing up the cowl panel. I got all the skid plates underneath put on. As you can see, we started the car. There's no exhaust leaks. The car runs good. So I'm gonna get off these jack stands. Once I do that, I'm gonna change clothes and I'm gonna take it for a test drive. So right now we're putting the car back on the ground. Everything's back together. So that's pretty much the whole process of deleting your DPF and SCR. Yep. And pro tip, if you guys are interested in one of these cars, buy one already deleted, because this process is a pain in the butt. But anyways, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.